Thanks, Peter, and good afternoon, everyone. And let me also begin by acknowledging that I'm talking to you from the Griffith University Gold Coast campus, which is situated on the land of the Coombenberry peoples, part of the Yugambeh language region. I'd like to express my respect and thanks to the traditional customary owners who cared for this country in the past, those who continue to do so today, and hopefully we can join them in doing so into the future. Let me first of all just give you a bit of background about myself, and then I want to say something briefly in response to the previous speaker about the nature of the climate change problem and what IUCN's, and then I want to talk about what IUCN's role is and what I think our Climate Crisis Commission should and can be doing, in particular over the coming 4-year quadrennial. I'll just first of all note that I was nominated to be proposed as chair by the Climate Crisis Steering Committee. That's one of the ways Commission chairs can be nominated, and that was presented to the IUCN Council, who accepted that, which I think means they consider me to be a appropriate chair if the members were to elect me. As Peter said, I've served on the IUCN Council previously as one of Oceania's regional councillors. I actually served 2 consecutive terms. During that time, I also chaired the Policy and Program Committee and 2 working groups that developed the biodiversity offset policy and actually kind of climate change agenda, which led eventually to the formation of this commission. I'm a lifetime member of the Australian Committee for the IUCN, currently a member of the Climate Crisis Commission, leading the Solutions and Innovative Approaches theme, and I'm a long-standing member of World Commission on Environmental Law. I'm the previous co-chair of their ethics specialist group and also a member of the World Commission on Protected Areas. I think I'm breaking some rule there, Peter, by being a member of 3 commissions simultaneously, but don't tell anyone. In terms of climate expertise, I'm a professor and director of an interdisciplinary program at Griffith University called the Climate Action Beacon. I was a coordinating lead author for the IPCC 6th Assessment Report in Working Group 2, Impacts, Vulnerability and Adaptation. And I was also nominated by the Australian Government to contribute to the IPCC 7th Assessment Report, which has just begun. And I'm what's called a review editor in Working Group 2, Chapter 14 on biodiversity, ecosystem services and related matters. And I've also undertaken research into issues of biodiversity and climate around the world and also in our region. So that's a bit about me. In terms of the climate crisis that we face, there was a lot of controversy when the Commission was established 4 years ago about what it should be called. A lot of people didn't like the idea of calling it a climate crisis, but as our previous speaker just told us, we are indeed facing some existential crises in our region. So I think it's good to have a sharp title to this Commission's name. But basically, when it comes to climate change, there's 3 fundamental challenges. We need to mitigate greenhouse gas emissions from all sources, starting with fossil fuel, but also from ecosystem loss and degradation. And we also have to help protect and restore ecosystems because they are a key part of the global carbon cycle. At the same time as doing that, as our previous speaker said, we have to deal with these escalating climate risks to human and natural systems and our interdependencies, and work out somehow the kind of adaptation strategies and options that can be put in place to help people and nature better manage, adapt to these escalating climate risks. And thirdly, both those 2 things we have to do at the same time, mitigate greenhouse gas emissions and adapt to climate change. We have to do them in the context of sustainability, what the IPCC calls climate resilient sustainable development. There are still many, many development challenges, human development challenges throughout the world, particularly in the tropics, but elsewhere. So we definitely need to be doing all of this in a way that builds resilience and sustainability futures. So we need solutions that are integrated, that are comprehensive. We need them to be nature positive. We need them to be just for all and not just for a few. We need to be thinking about intergenerational justice. They need to be community-centred, because this is where the impacts occur and where the adaptation capacity is most needed. And we need to avoid perverse outcomes and promote synergies between climate and biodiversity. As I think we're all aware, much of the policy debate and programmatic work has occurred in two silos, one called biodiversity, one called climate, and we really need to be building synergies between them, and I see that as a key opportunity and need for IUCN. So just to say something about the Climate Crisis Commission, it was founded 4 years ago under some controversy, and it's really been in something you could call it a holding pattern, to use an aviation metaphor, for the first 4 years of its existence. Hence, I would ask all members to please support motion 121, confirming the status of the Climate Crisis Commission. The motion, or the resolution that established the commission, was, if you were to go back and read it from 4 years ago, it was somewhat ambiguously worded. So the purpose of this motion is to clarify it and just normalise it as a commission like any other. And I would really ask your support for that. Nonetheless, the Climate Crisis Commission has attracted over 500 members, experts and practitioners from around the world, who are chomping at the bit, to use a horse metaphor, I guess, horse racing metaphor, to contribute their experiences and expertise. And this will definitely be my focus if I were to be elected as chair. We have an enormous network of experts and practitioners around the world, in all regions of the world, who are really wanting to roll up their sleeves and do some good work here. So I see the Climate Crisis Commission as having a critical role to play. And if you read it, its mandate requires it to work collaboratively with the IUCN community, with other commissions, with the Secretariat and with members. And it needs to be doing what all commissions do: generate knowledge products, provide evidence-based guidance and assessment frameworks, place-based case studies, and evidence-based policy options to support decision-making in all levels and all sectors. And as I said before, we can kind of encapsulate the challenge here in terms of achieving real net zero and climate resilience. And I think IUCN can make vital contributions here. It clearly has a mandate to be looking at identifying and enabling solutions that enhance the climate, nature, climate biodiversity synergies. As we heard from our first speaker, the need for community-centred approaches and listening to traditional local knowledges. Of course, solutions have to be culturally and socially acceptable, and so you definitely need a bottom-up approach that has to gel well with any top-down policies and solutions. And we really need to be, from an IUCN point of view, promoting the role of biodiversity and ecosystems in helping to stabilise the climate as a complement to the deep and permanent cuts in fossil fuel emissions that have to be achieved. And really understanding what nature-based solutions actually means. So I think the key for the Climate Crisis Commission going forward is to, first of all, focus on climate biodiversity synergies in the context of sustainability, to take a solutions orientation, to be engaged with ensuring we have the right enabling policies in place internationally, as well as regionally and nationally. And I think also building what I call climate nature literacy and the related capacities and capability building. So if you like, the challenge for the Commission going forward is to work with the IUCN community and external partners, because we definitely don't have all the expertise within the union, and we don't need to be, hence the need for partnerships, We need to be crafting and promoting a coherent and comprehensive portfolio of evidence-based climate-related policies. IUCN's climate policy at the moment is highly fragmented. We need to be developing new decision support materials, including some flagship knowledge products. Every commission has a flagship knowledge product. What will the Climate Crisis Commissions be? Well, I think we need a big opportunity to work with partner organisations to test and showcase locally feasible and appropriate solutions that generate synergies and avoid perverse outcomes for nature and people. And then finally contribute to IUCN's engagement with the climate and biodiversity conventions via the way that commissions do: policy option discussion papers, technical reports, facilitating multi-stakeholder dialogues and related activities. So that's really what I wanted to cover today, something about myself, the climate change crisis as I understand it, and the opportunities for the Climate Crisis Commission in the next 4 years. Thank you. Back to you, Peter.